Let me tell you something personal. For years, every time I looked in the mirror, the top of my hair seemed to just cave in. I would fluff it, spray it, even lean over the sink to give it a last-minute shake before heading out the door. And 5 minutes later, back down it went. Can you relate? That sinking feeling, both in your hair and in your heart. It's not your fault. Our hair naturally changes after 60. Hormones shift, texture softens, and volume seems to disappear, especially right on top. And yet, so many stylists keep giving us the same safe bob, or worse, the dreaded helmet cut. It leaves us feeling invisible, like our only option is to settle. But that is simply not true. And here's why it matters. The wrong cut doesn't just flatten your style, it can actually make you look more tired than you feel. It can soften your jawline in ways you don't want, or steal the light from your eyes. That's a high price to pay for the wrong pair of scissors. I used to joke that my crown had a secret pact with gravity. It was determined to keep me humble. But what most people miss is this. In 2025, there's one haircut quietly making waves in salons, and it just might be the grow-out fix we've been waiting for. The best part? The magic doesn't just happen on day one. It keeps working week after week. I'll show you exactly how in a moment. So if you've ever walked out of the salon feeling disappointed, or stared at your reflection wishing for a little more lift in life, I made this video for you, because you deserve a style that doesn't just sit on your head, it lifts you up. But first, let's put it to the test. Bob versus Pixie versus Bixie, which one truly wins the crown? You might be surprised by the answer. Okay, let's play a quick round of haircut versus. On the left, we've got the bob. Classic, polished, dependable, but let's be honest, sometimes it can feel a little stiff, like the haircut version of sensible shoes. Practical, but not exactly exciting. Now, the Pixie. She's fun, she's bold, she says, "I'm not afraid of change," but she also demands maintenance. You sneeze, and suddenly it needs a trim. And for many of us, especially if hair is thinning, a Pixie can actually exaggerate that thinning at the top, drawing more attention to where you want softness. And then, there's the Bixie. Think of her as the stylish bridge, anchored like a bob in the back, playful like a Pixie in the front. And here's her secret weapon, blended layers at the crown. They don't just add lift, they frame your face naturally and keep movement alive. Quick question. If you had to choose right now, which one would you pick? Bob, Pixie, or Bixie? Drop it in the comments. I'll share my choice in just a moment. The beauty of the Bixie is movement. Instead of collapsing into a helmet, it shapes and flows with you. And because of that clever layering, your cheekbones pop, your jawline looks sharper, and your overall look feels lighter. Not forced, not fake, just graceful. So when you put them side by side, Bob versus Pixie versus Bixie, it's not even a contest. The Bixie doesn't just sit on your head, it works with you. It's like scaffolding for your crown, quietly propping everything up while you just enjoy the compliments. But here's the real twist. It's not just about how the Bixie looks on day one. The real magic shows up 3, 6, even 9 weeks later, and that's where most other cuts fall apart. Let me show you what happens during the grow-out. Now, let's talk about something we all know too well, the awkward grow-out phase. You know the one, your cut looked amazing for about 2 weeks, then suddenly it sticks out here, it sags there, and you start reaching for scarves, hats, or just avoiding mirrors altogether. I've been there too. Once I went 3 whole months without taking a family photo, because every angle made my hair look like I'd given up. Not because of me, but because the cut just didn't grow gracefully. But here's where the Bixie flips the script. Its blended crown layers act like scaffolding, keeping volume in place so the shape looks deliberate, not accidental, even at week 6 or week 9. And here's something most people don't realize. After menopause, The diameter of each hair strand can shrink up to 25%. That's why so many cuts collapse by week 3. The Bixie was designed to work with that change, not against it. Get the wrong cut, and it can actually make your jawline look heavier, your eyes less bright, and your whole face feel dragged down. But the right cut, the Bixie, does the opposite. It keeps your features lifted and your expression open. And the best part? Instead of dreading the awkward stage, you might just start looking forward to it. Imagine saying, "Oh no, I can't get a trim this month. Guess I'll just look effortlessly chic a little longer." But here's the catch. You can't just sit in the salon chair and say, "Give me a Bixie." If you don't use the right words, you might still walk out with the same old helmet cut. So let me give you the exact checklist you need to take with you. Here's where so many women get disappointed. Not because the Bixie is a bad cut, but because the conversation at the salon wasn't clear. Stylists aren't mind readers, and unless you give them the right words, they might default to what they think works best for women your age. And we all know where that leads, the dreaded helmet cut. So, let's just put an end to that confusion once and for all. Think of this next part as your haircut GPS, so you'll never get lost in salon language again. When you sit down in the chair, here's what to say. Start with, "Please cut layers that lift at the crown, but don't create heavy chunks." Then add, "I'd love the ends to be soft and feathered, so the hair moves naturally instead of looking stiff." Don't forget the face framing part. Try, "Please shape the hair around my cheeks to soften the lines and brighten my face." For the overall length, you can be clear by saying, "Keep the back just a little longer than a pixie, but shorter than a bob." And the golden rule, always bring a couple of photos on your phone. Stylists think in images first. Now, what about at home? Keeping your Bixie fresh doesn't have to be complicated. Just a few simple tricks. A couple spritzes of texturizing spray at the crown, lift with your fingers, and you're done. Dry shampoo? It's not just for oil. Spray it at the roots to add grip and body. And one last secret, don't overbrush. Just tousle with your fingertips for that effortless, airy volume. One woman actually read this checklist word for word to her stylist. He paused, smiled, and said, "This is the clearest request I've ever had." She walked out not just with a great cut, but with the confidence that she was in control of her look. And if your arms get tired while styling, hey, just count it as your workout for the day. So yes, the Bixie can give you volume and grace, but the real reason it matters goes deeper than hair. In the end, it's about how you feel when you look in the mirror. Let's talk about confidence. You know, for years, I thought bad haircuts were just something I had to accept as part of aging. I still remember one salon visit where I left in tears. My crown sagged, my face looked harsh, and I felt like I had lost a piece of myself. I didn't even want to go out to dinner that night. And maybe you felt that too. That moment where a haircut makes you feel smaller instead of stronger. But here's what I've learned. Hair isn't just about vanity. It's about visibility. When you look in the mirror and actually like what you see, it changes everything. How you carry yourself, how you walk into a room, even how you smile at your family. That's what the Bixie has given me. A style that feels effortless, graceful, and yes, confident. And I want you to join in. Share your own story in the comments. Your best cut, your worst cut, or even your first Bixie. Drop your before and after photos too. We're building a little gallery of brave women right here on this channel. Call it the Bixie Brave Wall. Your story could be the spark that helps another woman step out of invisibility and into her own confidence. So yes, say goodbye to styles that work against you. You don't need to fight your hair anymore. Let the right cut work for you, not against you. And trust me, you'll want to see my next video, because the right color can make a Bixie twice as flattering, and the wrong color can undo everything. You don't want to miss that. Remember, you deserve a style that grows with you, not against you. Elegant, effortless, and all yours.